Peace, 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 peace. What's happening with you? I hope you're doing well out there, wherever you are. We're gonna get some vibes going today. We're gonna switch it up. This one is Cordoba Blues.
We finna set the mood with this one. So jazzy with it. Oh yeah. I'ma keep it real with y'all. It's something about horns, man. They do something to my soul, man. Finna catch me at a jazz club. I can't, 'cause my dad used to play jazz or something. It just, let's go. Ay. Yeah. Now, my parents playing Frankie Beverly with the mains. I'm playing Terrence Martin while I'm rolling the J. Uncle said, young blood, what you know about the jazz? That's when I hit him off with a little Olay. I'll be speaking in the code. If you get it, you got it. And throw them sevens up, so I know that you bout it. I with one double A, wasn't heavily scouted. They ain't understand hoes, so I get that you doubt it. And it's cool, baby. I'm making moves. See, I'm stacking up my ends, get the new saves. And yeah, this world looking shaky. I'm enjoying today. Freestyles from the universe created by Sway. Shout out to Heaven B. Home cooked meals hitting different. Most women nowadays can't cook up in the kitchen and I sad like the sax that is playing. It's kind of harsh, but where the line, what I'm saying. I'm speaking what I'm seeing, got that 2020. I'm too wise to be this young like a gift goodie. I'm reading service in the scriptures, giving back through the verses that I'm kicking. Yeah, I'm prolific and I'm gifted. Come on.
See, I'm prolific and I'm gifted.
I'ma give it
Yeah.
Prolific and I'm gifted. You see, I'm gifted like Lauren and prolific like Nipsey. You know, been getting game from Pac, Lauren and Pimps.
I love for my people, but I'm not for the pimp.
And I'm a son of God for them weapons against me. I'm chilling with my people, watch us dance in the street. Uncle cooking in the back, I'll get you something to eat. Get a little loud, but the side niggas be. We just wanna live, man, we want us some peace. You feel me? Okay.
One time for my youngsters in the streets, popping willies. Now I'm in the getting silly. And yeah, you gotta know it's freedom over millies. My niggas, do you hear me?
Niggas, do you hear me?
Woo.
Freedom over millies. My niggas, do you hear me? One more time. Freedom over millies, nigga. Freedom over millies, nigga.
Run out. Yeah. Freedom over millie, baby. Freedom over millies. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I like that horn, man. I like that horn. I like that horn. Peace, 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 peace. I'm Rami Male. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. I wanted to come on here real quick because I've been doing some studying. And I mean, I've read this a bunch of times, but I stumbled over it again, and it just really spoke to me, and it goes towards the question, why so much confusion? You know, when it comes to Moors and it comes to the Moorish Science Temple of America, when it comes to knowing what is the proper way to proclaim our nationality, how do we be Moors and be Moorish American and own property the correct way? How do we navigate and travel, you know, the proper way? Who's in charge? What are the laws for Moorish Americans? That was a question that came to my head. What are the laws for Moorish Americans? Right? What are they? Just a simple, not any hidden or, you know, secret agenda to the question, not trying to gotcha. Just simply, if I didn't know about Moors at all, and I just was on here right now and asking Moors, if someone wanted to know what are the laws that Moorish Americans follow, where do you go? What are they? Are we all on the same page in regards to that? I don't believe we are. And why not? Why is there so much confusion? Why isn't it clear? These are the questions that kept kind of repeating in my head. And so I wanted to come on and talk about it today. In your opinion, if you're out there watching right now, Why do you feel there's so much confusion when it comes to the Moorish Science Temple of America? When it comes to Moorish Americans and Moors and this whole movement, why is there so much confusion? Why do you feel that? Or do you feel there's no confusion? Do you feel it's crystal clear? Maybe I'm just the one. To me, it feels like it's a lot of vagueness. It's a lot of uncertainty. It's a lot of uh, ambiguity. Is that the word? It's a lot of not clear. It's not clear to me on certain particular parts, and when you get into the details of things, and when you get into the administration of things and how things are actually supposed to run, the government, right? What is the government for Moorish Americans? How does it operate? Who's in charge? Who has the authority? These are the questions that I was asking myself, and I don't feel it is crystal clear, and I feel like that is, among other things, a big problem with our movement. Um, oh man, I really do not understand what is this priesthood everyone is talking about. But Patah right knowledge. I'll get to the priesthood in a second. Let me just read this real quick. And what I'm reading, I meant to drop the link in there. And I dropped a link in here, and I'll put it in the description box. But I dropped a link in there. I'm gonna pin it up top for you, so that you can see it for yourself. I don't like, especially because this is dealing with religion and it's dealing with spirituality, and Noble Drew Ali is a prophet. I do my best to present information where it's not about belief. I don't want you to believe me just telling you, oh, this is what it says, and you just need to believe me. It's not acceptable. You know what I mean? In 2021, we are far past that. We need to back up what we're saying with the source, so that anyone that has any questions about it can go right to the source and read it for themselves, and verify and validate, what is being said. And so I'm going to read real quick from the Moorish literature, and it's this section called "The Prophet Announces His Authority and Power." I'm going to read the whole section because it's pretty short. It says, "Forced to make changes, all governors and other officers of the Moorish Science Temple are hereby congratulated for their past loyalty and fidelity, for I know it will be the same in the future." Right off the top, governors and officers. We're talking about government right here. We're talking about law, just so that we understand it's not just some religious thing. And if you doubt that, or if you think, well, it's the Moorish Science Temple, how could this be about government? Look up the Vatican. Look up, it's called the Holy See. That's what governs the Vatican. It's the central government for the Catholic Church. And also look up the Roman Curia, which is the court for the Catholic Church. Look up those things so that you can see that even in religion, there is a system, and there's government, and there's law, and structure and order that we follow, or that people follow, not we. Going back to the text, because of certain incidents that have arisen in some of the temples, which seem to come from the fact that there are those who do not know where the seat of power is vested, the prophet has ordered the following to be published. All authority and power of the Moorish Science Temple of America is vested in the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and those whom he appoints to act as in the supreme body. The prophet has the authority and power to expel any officer or member of the Moorish Science Temple of America who willfully violates or refuses to comply with the rules in regard to the branch Moorish Science Temple. And such suspensions and expulsions shall stand until the judgment of the prophet, and the members and officers shall have made satisfactory atonement. Here's a very important part right here. Listen closely, please. All officers and members, all officers and members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and such rules and regulations of the Constitution shall be in writing. It's very important. All the officers and members of the Moorish Science Temple of America and the rules and regulations of the Constitution. Again, we're talking about law and governance and government here. I know you hear Moorish Science Temple and you're hearing Islam and you hear this thing about religion, but understand this is the government, and I mean for our people as a nation. All officers and members of the Moorish Science Temple of America and such rules and regulations of the Constitution shall be in writing. It's very important. Shall be in writing. All of it is supposed to be in writing, documented, so that everyone knows. Let me continue so you're not just hearing what I'm saying. It shall be in writing and not at variance with any law of the city, town, or nation which the prophet shall declare a law. During this session of the convention, all rules, regulations, and laws of the Constitution, and such as might be enacted and ordered by the prophet, shall express and explain in detail, so there can be no doubt as to what is required of each and every officer or member of the organization. It's supposed to be expressed and explained in detail. All of the rules, the regulations, and laws. It's supposed to be expressed in detail and explained in detail and in writing, so that there's no doubt as to what is required of every officer and member. So whether you're an officer within the Moorish Science Temple of America or you're just a member, either or, whatever role you have to play, it's supposed to be expressed and explained in detail, in writing, so that there can be no confusion. Absolutely no confusion. So it's crystal clear. Shall express and explain in detail, so there can be no doubt as to what is required of each and every officer or member of the organization. The prophet will positively not tolerate any interference with the operation of this national divine movement from anyone. By the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Now, I want you to really think about that, digest that, and let's really be honest with ourselves. Within our organization, is it expressed and explained in detail and in writing, so that every person, whether you're an officer or a member, they're clear, there's no confusion? Is it laid out what the Grand Sheik is supposed to do? The assistant Grand Sheik, the governors, the treasurer, the grand body, the Supreme Grand Council. Oh my goodness. Is that expressed and explained in detail and in writing? This is not, and again, not what I said. This is by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And he said, will positively not tolerate any interference with the operation of this national and divine movement from anyone. So this is supposed to be happening. This is not what Rami says or what Rami feels we should be doing. This is what Noble Drew Ali said we have to do. And anybody that is objecting or trying to interfere with that is going against what the Prophet ordered. And Noble Drew Ali, just so we're clear, is a prophet, right? Sent by Allah. The last prophet in these days is Noble Drew Ali, who is prepared divinely in due time by Allah to redeem men from their sinful ways and to warn them of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. A divine prophet, universal prophet, came for everybody, but came specifically for so-called black people, so-called Negroes. Moors, came for us. We're supposed to be following the law, following what Noble Drew Ali said. Are we being honest? Can we be honest right now? Are we following what he said? Just in terms of listing what goes on with our organization, who does what. Is it clear and in writing? All the laws, are they in writing? For everyone to see, so everyone is clear. From my perspective, from what I've seen, I'm not the end all be all, but I've done a lot of research, and I do not think that we are following the law and following what Noble Drew Ali ordered us to do as it relates to this. I've never seen a clear and express detailed list of all of the positions and the officers for the Moorish Science Temple of America and what their duties and responsibilities are. I haven't seen an organizational chart. It's supposed to be in writing. And this is not to point our finger at any one person. This is for all of us. We all slipping on that. Because this is for every officer or member. So we all play a role in this. Oh, man. In fighting an ambiguity, administration of how it operates from the bottom where the temple of not, people shouldn't not know how to nationalize. Yeah. Rashawn Bey, I feel that. Noble Akil, what's next after nationalizing? Speak on how Moors can build businesses and be industrial. Seems like a lot of Moors are stuck in time, quoting Noble Drew Ali. Noble Akil. Well, I'm address that in two parts. First, the part about Moors are stuck in time, quoting Noble Drew Ali. I think it's important that we do not try and diminish or devalue. Yeah, I think it's important that we don't diminish or devalue the importance of what Noble Drew Ali said. We have to understand that Noble Drew Ali is a divine prophet. Not just some dude that was wise and, he had a good idea and he was kicking some knowledge and it was a cool philosophy to listen to. You know what I mean? He had some good quotables. Nah. Sent by Allah, the creator of the universe. For everything. Like, we really got to understand, yes, it's important to keep continuing quoting Noble Drew Ali. He's that important of a figure. So I think that's first. But beyond that, what's next after nationalizing? We can't even get past nationalizing because there's not clarity on that process. Noble Akil. What is the process to properly and lawfully proclaim your nationality as a Moorish American? Is that process being followed? Whatever you feel it is that process being followed? Is it uniform across this country for all Moorish Americans? If it's not, then we have some issues that we have to sort out. We can't have people nationalizing or doing whatever they feel is the right way. That doesn't make sense. Logically, it doesn't make sense that we're claiming to be a nation of people, but everybody is just doing their own thing and there's no structure and order and laws that we're all following and adhering to. Which goes to my point of why I keep bringing back the Supreme Grand Council, because it can provide clarity on all of these issues. It has the authority to make us or assert you know, this is how we're going to do things. It has the authority according to Noble Drew Ali. So we have to get, going back to the point of this video, the confusion. We got to get the confusion. We got to get some clarity on things before we try to do too much. That's been our problem, is that everybody's trying to just get something done. It's like, hold on, wait a minute. Let's get 1, 2, 3 down. You know what I mean? Let's make sure that we get the foundation proper. You know what I mean? We get that done right before we try to do too much. But just so that I'm not dismissing the aspect about business, in the Moorish literature, it has several things about business. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Our dollars and cents. Our dollars and cents is a excerpt or a section in the Moorish literature from Noble Drew Ali, and it says, the doctrine of economic security is by no means as widespread and intensive among Americans of our group as the circumstances demand, and the more written and said on the subject, the better. We need to more earnestly urge conscientious support of the businessmen and women of our group in their chosen fields of endeavor. The greater success of their business enterprises, the more open gates of opportunity there will be for our youth of today and tomorrow. And it continues on, and it lays out a whole philosophy and a mentality for us as it relates to business, as well as in the Quran, it has a chapter which speaks about injustice. Injustice. When thou sellest for gain, and hear the whispering of conscience, be satisfied with moderation, nor from the ignorance of thy buyer make any advantage. So we have lessons and guidance within the Moorish literature, as well as the Quran Circle 7, about being business oriented and getting to that bag. You feel me? But we gotta get some foundational things done and squared away first. Otherwise, we'll just have more confusion and chaos, and especially when you start bringing in a lot of finance, and money into the equation, and you don't have things clear, things can go left. I don't know if you follow the Joe Budden podcast, for example. You know what I'm saying? They I'm not sure if you following along with that, if you know what's up with that, but if not, there's a group of individuals that was working together, started becoming successful, some offers and money and sponsorships and big money started coming to play, and things started to fall apart because the foundation wasn't clear. You know what I mean? Some principal things wasn't clear on the foundation, and things got a little rocky. That's just a quick example. Rashan Bey, the Prophet gave Moors the authority to operate in temples to create a government which can in turn form businesses, but they have to follow the Prophet. Hey, man, as it says in chapter 47, these laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of all the temples. Every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and to create their own laws and customs in conjunction. That's the key right there. See, people, they want to say they can do their own thing, and I'm going to create my own temple. Yeah. In conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet in the Grand Temple. It got to fall up under that umbrella. You got to fall in line. We got to follow the law. You know what I mean? We got to play our position. We got to know our role. And, that's a big issue with our movement in terms of the confusion. Too many people, they just trying to call the play. They trying to call the shots. Hold on, man. Hold on. We already got that. You got your route you gotta run your route. Stop trying to, call audibles and you ain't even the quarterback. Hold up. What you doing? Just relax. Let's just play our position, follow the law, do what we're supposed to do what we're told, and things run smoothly. When we don't do what we're told, when we don't follow the laws and the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, a divine prophet that was sent for us by Allah, gotta remember that. When we don't follow what he told us to do, well, you see what's going on with our movement right now. We discombobulated. Patal right knowledge. I did a video getting back to the priesthood. I did a video about the priesthood, and that the line that you may hear more speaking about the priesthood is dead. It comes from the mysteries of the silent. The book is kind of janky. The mysteries of the silent brotherhood of the East. And it's kind of like some advanced studies. If you just make a comment when the video, matter of fact, I just dropped the link in there for you, and I just put priesthood, and so you can just click that, and it goes more in depth into that whole understanding. Is the process worth our sanity and livelihood? If everyone has their own interpretation of nationality, why not work on something that we can see progress? Why not speak on trust law? Noble Akil. And that is the problem. That is the problem. This movement doesn't work with everyone doing what they feel based off of their interpretation. That's not how government, that's not how nations operate. You can't just say, well, I'm interpreting it this way, and that's the way I'm gonna do it. Noble Drew Ali said, take the information and save yourself. So I don't have to listen to anybody. I'm just gonna save myself, and I'm gonna do whatever I feel. It don't work that way, family. I mean, yes, you technically have the choice to do that. You know what I mean? You are free to do that, but in terms of what we're supposed to be doing, what's righteous, what's lawful, what's proper, that's not the correct way to go about it. We gotta follow what Noble Drew Ali said, which is, why I read what I read in the beginning. Just highlight it again. It says, during this session of the convention, I forgot to point that out. This was during the convention, the annual convention that happens every year, right? Where every Grand Sheik from every branch temple is required to go to. And they're supposed to get the information and bring it back to their branch temple so that they can get it to their members, so that everyone around the nation is informed on how we're supposed to operate. It says, during this session of the convention, all rules, regulations, and laws of the Constitution and such as might be enacted or ordered by the Prophet shall express and explain in detail, so there can be no doubt as to what is required of each and every officer or member of the organization. So there can be no doubt. Very clear. It's supposed to be expressed and explained in detail, and it shall be in writing. These things shall be in writing so that everyone is clear. And we are not following what Noble Drew Ali set up. That is why we have so much confusion. That is why it is not a clear-cut process on how to proclaim our nationality. That is why it is not a clear-cut process on how to open a Moorish American business. That is why it's not a clear-cut process on how to join a Moorish Science Temple of America. That's why it's not clear who are the officers of the Moorish Science Temple of America, because we are not following what Noble Drew Ali ordered us to do. And he was sent by Allah, so really what Allah ordered us to do. You feel me? And I also feel like there are too many Moorish Americans, too many Moors that don't really respect Noble Drew Ali and understand his position and understand his station and just how important what he said is and how we are supposed to follow. It's not like, oh, this would be cool if we did this. No, we are supposed to be following this. This is the law for Moorish Americans. You know, so we have to follow Noble Drew Ali. Please obey the law as given to you by your prophet. And through this Moorish literature, it's saying that left and right. Follow Noble Drew Ali. Obey the law. It's talking about all governors, grand sheiks, heads of temples. Where is the other? It speaks about all of us. Here we go, right here. A warning from the prophet. There is no favorite in any of the temples, for the law is laid down, and everyone who claims a part of the work must be governed accordingly. That's a big one. So many Moorish Americans seem to act like they ain't heard that, act like they don't know what that means. It means ain't nobody above the law. Don't matter how wise or how much Moorish information and how many years you've been studying, it don't make you above the law. Yeah, I, self-law master, you could say that Allah is in you and you, okay, yeah, but you're not above the law though. You're not above the law, and we got to really understand that and digest that and really operate from that and start following and obeying the law. You know what I mean? What are the laws that Moorish Americans follow? What are they? Can't just say love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Come on, family. Really? Really? That's the answer you want to give? Come on, man. It's supposed to be in writing, according to Noble Drew Ali. Express and explain in detail. Are we doing that? We're not. So we got to get on that. Man, that's really what I wanted to come in and talk to you all about, because man, I just see so much confusion and so much stagnation with our movement. And the more I get back into what Noble Drew Ali said, the more I see the structure and the organization, and the law that we're supposed to be following. Everything was laid out for us. How the government operates, the checks and the balances, the authority, the representation, how everybody's voice can be heard and represented. But it's only when we are following the law, only when we are obeying and following the teachings and the guidance of Noble Drew Ali. Because we are not, what you see right now, especially if you're a new Moor and you're coming into this, what you see right now is a bunch of different people doing whatever they feel, whatever they want to do. And they incorrect. They are violating our Moorish laws. That's a fact. They are not in line with what Noble Drew Ali established. And people can make as many excuses and, pontificate on why this and this and that and the third. But at the end of the day, man, you're not following the law. No, we ain't talking about what everybody else is doing. And really, that's a bigger issue with us. Is that far too many of us, we point the finger at everybody else. We need to look in the mirror. We as Moorish Americans, we got to get right. We got to clean up the temple. We got to follow the law. We got to listen to what Noble Drew Ali said and operate on that. And not just quote Noble Drew Ali and talk about Noble Drew Ali, but not truly live what he was teaching. Far too many people do just parrot what Noble Drew Ali said, but are not working and striving to do what Noble Drew Ali told us to do. Yeah. Is there any other questions before I get up out of here? And just so I was clear, if I didn't answer, why not speak on trust law? Because I'm focused on us following the divine law first, and the divine constitution and the teachings of Noble Drew Ali and the laws that he brought for us before we even try to get into the trust law. You know what I mean? Not to mention, I don't even want to get into that aspect, but we just need to get the foundation right. PB Moore Bay, could you explain why there are so many different groups of Moors with different paths, but all claiming to follow Noble Drew Ali? Yes, PB Moore, thank you for the question. Why there's so many different groups of Moors? Because people don't want to follow what Noble Drew Ali said. They wanna be the man. They want to be the prophet, the one that, yeah, I'm the one that say to people, follow me. I know what's going on. Jealousy, ego, greed, things like that is the reason why. When it gets down to it. But it's always the same, regardless of whatever the different group is. If you, and this is why if you haven't seen any videos before, let me make sure I say it now. Study what Noble Drew Ali said first. Really study the teachings and investigate and do your research on all of the information that Noble Drew Ali brought first. How he established the Moorish Science Temple of America, the organization and the structure, the laws, all of that. And then when you look, then you can look towards these other different groups that are out here. I don't even want to drop the names, but whatever the group is, insert the name there. Whatever this offshoot splinter group is, if you look at their teachings and then you compare it to what Noble Drew Ali is teaching, you will see a discrepancy. You will see something that is at variance with the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. Something will be different. At some point, they're going to veer off onto their own path. You know what I mean? They're going to start teaching about things that is not in line with what Noble Drew Ali established. And that's how you can tell who is doing the righteous thing and who is following in line with Noble Drew Ali, and who are these people that are trying to create their own thing so that people can follow them. You know what I mean? That's what I've seen. They want your money. They want your attention. They want your praise. They want your obedience. You know what I mean? So, they'll manipulate and they'll try to be conniving and real slick. But if you study what Noble Drew Ali said first, and then you look at these different offshoot groups, you'll be able to see, see, I knew it was something off. You know what I mean? To get rich quick, all of those kinds, if it seems kind of fishy, if it isn't clear, Yeah, I mean, if it sounds too good, watch out. Watch out. They talking about getting you all these homes for free, and you never have to pay any, not a mortgage and no sort. Be careful. If they saying that, oh, I can get you out of jail and da 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 da, be careful. Because if you study Noble Ali, he never mentioned, oh, you can just take somebody's property, take this property over because we this is our land and this is how we can go about it. It doesn't say things like that. And that's why it's important not to believe me. Study Noble Ali for yourself. That way you can't be misled. And that's what's really important, in particular with this movement, because there are a lot of people out here that are trying to mislead you. So you got to be careful. Got to be careful. But thank you for the question. Yeah, seeing how Noble Ali died at a young age, do you think that everything he did or was trying to do was completed? According to him, it said in the oral statements and prophecies, Noble Ali is said to have said it's going to take Moors, you know, maybe 50 or even 100 years to figure out what he really did. Um, you know, and here we are coming up on almost 100 years after he didn't pass. And I feel like we're just now really understanding as Moorish Americans, dang, man, he really established a whole lot in a little bit of time. You know what I mean? An entire organization that functions and has its own government and laws, but that is not in conflict or not opposing any other nation or country or what. It's like, man, was speaking about group economics. He was talking about empowering women, um, you know, guidance to get our family in order. I mean, but this is my opinion. You know what I mean? To me, it seems like everything we need, you know what I mean, is right here, is before us. We just have to study and apply it. You know what I mean? But it's just my opinion. Um, I think that may be it, folks. I don't see any other questions. Was there any other questions that you have regarding the Moorish Science Temple of America? Just again, let me just harp on this again. I know I'm repeating it over and over, but I just want to drive the point home. It says, all officers and members of the Moorish Science Temple of America and such rules and regulations of the Constitution shall be in writing and not at variance with any law of the city, town, or nation which the prophet shall declare law. It says further that all rules, regulations, and laws of the Constitution and such as might be enacted or ordered by the prophet shall express and explain in detail, so there can be no doubt as to what is required of each and every officer or member of the organization. We need some clarity, man. And we can't expect it to come from other people. You know what I mean? We have to clean up the temple ourselves. We have to do the work. We can't wait on everybody else. There's nobody else is gonna say, okay, you guys, you Moorish Americans, I see y'all having some trouble. This is how y'all do it. All right, just this. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen, man. You know what I mean? We gotta That's the whole take it and save yourselves. It's on us. The old way wasn't working, so it's on us to do what we got to do. Shout out to Pop. Much love. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the questions. To everybody who was asking the questions. Again, please study Noble Drew Ali. Please study the Quran, Circle 7. Please study the Quran questions for Moorish Americans, which is important as well. The Moorish literature. Mine is raggedy, but the information is still good. Yeah, man, study any and everything that Noble Drew Ali said. Follow what he said, because he is the prophet, not what these other people saying and believing they are. Yeah, follow the teachings. Stand on our principles of love, true peace, freedom, and justice. And, man, above everything else, you got to know it above everything else. Gotta love instead of hate. Love is the key. Love is the way. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, email me at iamhhtemple@gmail.com. iamhhtemple@gmail.com. That's it. Thank you. Peace.